Battle of the Titans, Stallone vs. Gere over Princess Diana. In the world of glitz, glamour, and larger-than-life celebrities, few figures captured the public's imagination quite like Princess Diana. Not only did she win the hearts of millions with her grace, kindness, and beauty, but she also left a lasting impact on Hollywood, a phenomenon Edward White explores in his book Dianaworld, an obsession. In one of the most entertaining stories from his work, White recounts a moment in the 1990s that could easily have been plucked from a drama-filled movie plot. A fierce confrontation between two Hollywood heavyweights, Sylvester Stallone and Richard Gere, all over Diana. It was at one of Elton John's famed house parties, where an unlikely rivalry brewed, with Diana at the center of it all. White, citing Elton John's husband David Furnish, describes a scene where the alpha males clashed over the princess. As the night unfolded, Stallone, who apparently had his sights set on Diana, noticed her deep conversation with Richard Gere by the fireplace. And that's when things got interesting. Stallone, according to White, grew angrier and angrier, feeling that Gere was dominating the conversation. Talk about a classic case of jealousy. But here's the kicker: Stallone didn't just stew in silence. Oh no, he squared up to Gere, and at one point, the situation escalated so much that Elton John had to intervene. Apparently, these two A-list stars were ready to settle their differences with fists. Over Diana. Let's just say, things didn't exactly go as Stallone hoped. Now, for those who are thinking this sounds a bit exaggerated, White clarifies that the story indeed comes from Elton John's autobiography. While Stallone himself shot down the tale, calling it a complete fabrication in a social media post, it's hard not to imagine the drama that would unfold in such a scenario. And to add fuel to the fire, John himself confirmed that the mood of the entire party shifted once Diana and Gere began bonding. According to him, Stallone, who was likely hoping to woo Diana, didn't take kindly to the budding friendship between her and Gere. Can you blame him? The tension was so palpable that Furnish, sent to fetch the two men from the dining room, returned visibly shaken. He'd found them in a hallway, staring each other down, poised for a physical confrontation. What was the issue? The princess, of course. Diana, meanwhile, seemed unfazed by it all, an image of composure in the midst of chaos. But don't think for a second that this was the only instance of the Hollywood stars vying for Diana's attention. Tessa Baring, from the Bernardo's Children's Charity, recounted another tale where Stallone practically begged to sit next to the princess during a lunch. Instead, Diana's team seated him next to a child, which Diana cleverly used as an opportunity to indulge her curiosity. Leaning over, she asked Stallone about his love life, using the child as a pretext. "Tracy and I want to know if you're married." A simple, but brilliant move to both placate Stallone and steer the conversation away from any romantic tension. Can you imagine being at the center of such an emotional tug-of-war between two legends like Stallone and Gere? It's moments like these that remind us of the powerful allure Diana had, not just on the public, but on those who were used to being in the spotlight themselves. Her presence could stir up a room, and as the stories show, even the most famous faces weren't immune to getting caught in the drama.